Good morning, Lindokuhle Xulu. Are taxis still not operating this morning, or are they back on the roads?
Well, Praten, we are seeing a different picture from what we saw yesterday, and that is the fact that the taxis are operating this morning. But this comes after an interaction with the Minister of Transport here, who tried to come to this particular area in Soshanguve called the Transfer. And what we know is that there was a bit of an altercation when the minister left this particular area. And after that, we saw from some of the scenes provided by our colleagues, Mangoba, that in fact the taxi drivers were vowing to continue with some of the stayaways as well as the protest action that they had initially taken. But it does seem that they have returned to the streets. It does seem that commuters are receiving the service from some of the taxi drivers here. In fact, we did manage to see and drive around to see a lot of those taxis, including the local taxis, the ventures operating in this area. So it does seem that that threat that was made yesterday was not lived up to, and some of these taxis are indeed operating here in Soshanguve, where we saw that altercation between the minister, who was trying to appeal for a peaceful stay away, as it were, from some of the taxi operators here. But again, Praten, we can confirm that in fact the taxi drivers, the taxi operators are operating this morning here in Soshanguve.
Yeah, but we understand yesterday, Lindokuhle, in the morning, I spoke to the National Taxi Alliance, who did not urge their members to protest, but they support Santaco's stand that the government must do more from them, and that negotiations are still underway to resolve this.
Well, it does seem that many of the associations, even those that did not take part in the stay away, as well as in the industrial action that we saw yesterday, in fact, the protests that we saw yesterday, are indeed in support of some of the demonstrations and the calls made by Santaco. But what we know is that they are requesting for more from government and saying that that 1 billion rand is not sufficient. They want more from government, and hence we saw them putting their, parking their cars. We saw some of them even on the roads, just blockading and barricading some of those roads. It does seem that there is still an unhappiness about it, but they of course said that yesterday was one day in which they had practiced their right to stay away, and they did say that this is just a demonstration of their unhappiness. But moving forward, they are expecting that tomorrow, when some of these stakeholders meet with the minister, there will be a change from the minister's tone in terms of the money that they are requesting. So it does seem that they are waiting for that all-important meeting with the minister, perhaps to say that the minister will be giving them what they want, or what is the adjustment that the minister can give them. But at this stage, it does seem that they are back in operating. And you remember, Praden, that as much as the taxi industry is in fact citing that they have lost a lot of money, a stay away also constitutes more loss in terms of the revenue that they're able to particularly generate. So it does seem that they are back, and they understand exactly the repercussions of them even staying away one more day. But of course, they'll be waiting for the minister to respond in that regard.
There must be a huge sense of relief from commuters in and around places like Soshanguve in Pretoria, because yesterday hundreds of them could not reach work on time or reach work at all, because they always get caught in the middle. Did you get a chance this morning just to get a sense of some sentiment from the commuters? Are they relieved?
Well, that's our next stop, and in fact, we are at one of the bus stops here, and just observing the action here, it does seem that there is a bit of relief in the transport industry, particularly seeing the fact that the people who are using PATCO, there is not a huge influx as you would see when there is a protest from the taxi side, from the taxi industry. But it does seem that everything is flowing smoothly. In fact, the queues here at this particular bus stop is in fact very small. It does seem that everything is operating normally. What we will do, of course, is that after this we are going to just get a sentiment from them as to their relief and hopes moving forward as this particular impasse between the Minister of Transport and the taxi industry continues.
Thank you very much, Lindokuhle Xulu, on the ground in Soshanguve.